job. I mean, we're not going to try and kill ourselves by doing stupid stuff on the road. So I'm following rules of the road. If someone's going to make a right-hand turn, well, my rules, they work. They work with the cars, right? But I'm going to merge left if somebody's going to make a right-hand turn. And it really freaks drivers out. Like, they don't know what to do if they see a biker that moves with traffic and they flip out.
You're supposed to stop and let them do their thing illegally or otherwise, and then when they get out of your way to go on, it's like, I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm a vehicle, according to the same respect you would a 16-wheeler. I mean, they just don't. They just, because you're on a bicycle, you're going to automatically stop and, you know, fall over to get out of the way. And they shouldn't do that, because most bike couriers, bicyclists do it. I mean, especially women bicyclists, not bike couriers. Like they are, I've seen them, they're very wimpy, you know, they will, you know, stop and they, you know, get off the bike and they go around the cars, you know, they look, because they aren't as confident on the bicycle as a bike courier would be.
But you have to be careful, and you have to yield to the cars, because if you know, somebody might cut you off, but even if you just touch their car, like you slap it open-handed and it makes them, you know, they might try and hit you with their car, or they'll jump out. I've had people, you know, you're slapping it because they're going to hit you. They're turning into you, they haven't signaled, and you didn't know they were going to do this, so you want to make them aware you're there. I've had people jump out of the car and start shaking me around, you know, and saying, you know, I'm gonna, you know, just because you touched their car.
Challenging job for anyone to do, and I'd recommend anyone to try it, just for like a month in winter and 3 months in summertime, just to give you a different perspective on what life is like.
Listen, like for us, those of us who are totally unathletic and don't ride their bikes anywhere.
No.
Yeah, we could understand that you would want to do something like this in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it's like, my God, they must be nuts. It's so dangerous.
I did it in winter to prove it to myself.
As long as it's not,
like this
winter, way below zero, like up to -5, it's usually not a problem. And as long as the roads are dry, but the roads dry. This year was pretty bad, but you know, for the last 5 years, it's been no problem. Most of the time, the roads are dry. You know, if your feet get wet or something, they freeze. But otherwise, it's nice out in the winter.
Actually, it is.
It's horrible in a building with recirculated air, and it's too hot. You can't breathe. I go inside one of those buildings, and I can't breathe.
It's like putting a plastic bag over your head. You know, it's like
terrible.
You feel like a fish out of water.
It's really nice outside, and you get to enjoy it. I wouldn't go outside otherwise. If I'm not working, I'm staying in the house. But, you know, I get outside, you know, all winter, and I've found, you know, my metabolism is higher. I stay warmer. I don't need to wear as much. You know, a lot of different things like that.
What kind of reactions do you get from other couriers who are male that work with you? How did they look at you? Like, are you one of them? Do you hang together, maybe on Temperance Street?
If you do it long enough,
I know they hang out on Temperance Street.
Yeah. If you do it long enough, they accord you respect. But I mean, it's a very genderless sort of job. Like I don't notice anymore couriers who are male and female. They're just couriers that you know. Like you don't think, oh, it's a courier guy or a courier girl. I don't think like most male couriers don't think that.
I notice a big difference. It's
do you really?
There is that. We're all couriers, but still, they're men, we're women, and you notice in how they talk to you. It's like the guys in my company try and tell me how to ride my bike, or, you know, how to fix my bike, and meanwhile, I know more about the bike than they do, you know what I mean? And they'll, like, first when they meet you, they'll look at you like an object and like, hey, you know, maybe I can get on with this girl, you know what I mean? You know, and then after a while, when they get to know you, they're like, oh, okay, she's just another, you know,
just another courier.
Yeah.
You're not a woman, you're just a courier thing.
I don't know, I've had some pretty bad reactions. Like my parents, they were like, at first they were like, oh, well, you love riding your bike, that's great. And then I'd ended up going traveling for like 5 months. And then when I got back, I started biking again. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
Don't you think you should go back to school, finish your degree? And, you know, I'm sure there's lots of jobs out there. And so every time I would talk to them on the phone, they would be so, you know, have you been looking for a job? I've got a job. I'm working, Mom and Dad, you know. And I've got this one friend. She kills me. She works in this office, and I actually deliver to her office.
Right.
So I bug her, and she goes, you're in my office? No. And she'll, don't you ever say hi to me if you're in there. Don't you call me, blah, blah, blah. She doesn't want anybody to know she knows a courier.
What a rat.
Oh, my God.
Friends like that.
Holy smokes. How about you, Reba?
Well, they were a bit worried, you know, concerned about safety aspect of it, but they've gotten used to it. It's been a few years now. But they're always encouraging me to get into, you know, something else. But I can understand.
Okay, Violet, hit us.
I'm Irish. My family, all of my family lives in Dublin, so I have like as little contact with them as you could imagine. So they don't really, they know what I do, but because we don't talk on a day-to-day basis, it's like, oh, you're a bike courier? Okay, fine. Like, there's no big deal, and most of my friends are bike couriers. And I don't have friends, you know, that aren't kind of bicyclists one way or another. So my family, you know, they think it's dangerous, but they know the kind of person I am, and if I'm going to get killed doing it, then I'm going to get killed. And they can just ship my body home and bury it in Dublin.
Oh, no,
But no, yeah, the violence, you know.
Right.
Bury me in the sod kind of thing.
With the bike.
Yeah, the bike of my gravestone, you know.
Okay, now the job is dangerous. No ifs or buts. It is dangerous. So I wanted to ask you what incidents each of you have had that made you even wonder whether you should be doing this anymore.
Well, on my first day out as a courier, got hit by a bus.
Oh,
The bus went. I got stuck. The bus was trying to pass me, and I got stuck between the wall by Old City Hall, and the bus. Then my bike got stuck right between the wall, and it went right over, and the bus just kept going.
Oh.
But I climbed off my bike. The bus driver didn't get charged. I was in front of him, he passed me, and I was, you know, too ignorant at the time to know that I should have pressed charges. And then I had trouble collecting the money for my bike because he said, well, there was no charges in this. The guy ran me over.
And you decided to still do this.
Yeah, well, I wasn't hurt. If I'd been hurt, I'm sure it would have been something different. But.
Yeah. How about you, Carolyn?
Oh, my only problem is with dizzy pedestrians. Those are the ones that give me a problem, because I'll be speeding down the road and there's always people in a daze on the sidewalk, and they just like to kind of fall into the street if they're going to cross the street without looking. And I've hit a few people, like, when I'm riding down, and you can't do anything, and they'll be cursing or in a panic, and it's like, oh, I can't help you. The sidewalk's for walking, not the road.
Yeah, yeah. Violet?
I had a nasty one about a month ago. I was at Young and Bloor, and I was riding eastbound, and these two guys in a van tried to turn right on Young Street, and he almost killed me. And, you know, I cursed, and I went around him, and I pounded the side of his van with my fist, and I didn't know I put a big dent in the side of his van. He comes screaming after me. It's like, oh, my God, he's going to kill me. So he gets out of his van. He's mad. This guy's like, he's like pissed angry. He's like, what the hell are you doing in my van? He's pointing at a big dent in his van. It wasn't very big. Like, it was a dent, but it wasn't very big. And his buddy's going, yeah, you hit our van. You're going to pay for that. And I'm going, oh, my God, they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And it's like, you know, okay, go ahead, call the cops, and I'll have you charged with, you know, making a careless right-hand turn because you almost killed me. And I'm sure in a court that takes precedence over your stupid van.
Exactly.
And he's going, you're not going anywhere. We're going to call the cops. And I'm going, go ahead, you know, call the cops. And I was really nervous. I didn't show, but I was really, really nervous. And I look up, and all of a sudden, there's like 5 bike couriers like right behind me going, what's the problem? Because it's right at Young and Bloor, and that's like a really good place to have an accident because there's always couriers at Young and Bloor. It's like, what's wrong? And I'm going, oh, hi, guys. These guys are threatening me. And after
you guys are a tight unit then. They'll come to your rescue.
That's the greatest thing about it is there's always constant support.